New Year, listeners! Welcome to 2023 and a brand new era of Drunkard's Walk. That's right, it is I, your host, Jethro Nolan. And first of all, welcome to the future. The entirety of human history has been driving towards this point. So many people would be jealous that you and I get to be here in 2023, and they aren't. Abbott and Costello, they're not here. Shakespeare, he's not here. Confucius, no way, he's a no-show. So well done. Bravo to you for outsmarting all of those folks and many, many more. But, you know, someone else who has outsmarted the dead is Matt Hartman, my co-host. Matt, welcome to the future.
Hi, Jethro. Happy New Year to you too, buddy. That was
Happy New Year.
That was at first when you said it at the beginning, I was like, what did he say? Because it was very subtle. It was very understated. And then I was like, oh, he said Happy New Year.
That's my brand, subtle and understated. So
it is. You're very subtle and understated at all times. And I think it's great. I think it's great that we made it. What excitement lies ahead in this year. I know that every year since like 2019, I've just been like, boy, oh boy, I'm just excited for another year of this.
That's right.
Great.
World
can't be bad.
The world keeps throwing us curveballs, and it's so exciting to watch.
It is. It is just as exciting as baseball.
Indeed, it really is. It feels like life has gone into extra innings.
It sure has.
Maybe the game should have been called at some point.
Should have been maybe, but we are here. We have made it. We are deep into season 7. In fact, only 2 more episodes after this, buddy, and then
I know,
and then we'll be at the end of the season. And who knows? Will 2023 contain a season 8?
Or perhaps several seasons 8.
It's tough to know. It's really tough to know. But either way, we are still here. It is still season 7, and we had a really pleasant walk last week with our friend Dave Foreman, who got to come along for the entire walk. That was pretty fun. Doing that walk to Marie Lwyd.
That's right.
Which was that Welsh, right? A Welsh tradition.
The Welsh wassailing tradition.
Which was great and a lot of fun. And now we're moving out of the holidays. It's the 3rd. Everybody's kind of back to work. And it's back to the grind. It's back to the normal. But
that's right.
That means for us, normal, of course, is going from one Wikipedia page to the other in the
fewest number of
links possible, right?
That is what we do.
But what's normal for everyone else? I don't even know anymore.
Who's to say? The word normal is so problematic, and we don't have time to unpack all of that right now. For that, you'd have to listen to our sister podcast, Everything is Terrible, an in-depth analysis of why you can't enjoy anything anymore. The good news is you always find something problematic. You just got to keep digging.
Well, and we touch on that in this podcast, I feel.
We do.
We do things that are wrong.
We do, and occasionally we do the things that are wrong.
Sure.
Absolutely. Steeped in our own biases. And so you can't escape it.
Super steeped.
It's so true. But the good news is we have fun while we're doing it. It's only after the fact that we realize, oh God, we said some terrible things and did some terrible things.
And isn't that what history is all about, Jethro?
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
Do it. Having a good time while you're doing it. I'm pretty sure every tyrant and king and whatever was like having a blast until things went bad. And then they were like, we should probably not do that anymore. So
that was it. That was absolutely it. Well, so we know that we're starting at Marie Lwyd. We know we're starting in Wales, but where will we end up is always a question that we have. And I always play this little game where I say, how are we going to know? And we're not allowed to come up with the topics. But it's a new year. So I resolve to throw that bit away and just tell you right now that my friend Chris Cox is here to give us a destination. Chris, how you doing, man?
I'm so excited to be here.
Yay!
Listen to that enthusiasm in his voice.
Amazing.
Like I said, I'm a different energy level than you.
No. You're right up there, man. It is good to see you. We grew up together, Chris and I, much like several of the folks that have been on the podcast this season. And Chris took off. He said, "I'm done with high school. I'm out of here, man." And he hasn't been back to Pennsylvania since. I don't think, not even to visit, right?
Oh, visit, sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not to live,
No,
not to live. You were off to Georgia and then now to Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. My southern migration was one way only.
Yes.
Whereabouts in Georgia did you live?
Atlanta. We were.
Okay.
I went to school in Atlanta, and then my wife got a job in Florida. I followed, and here we are.
Nice.
This lovely Windows 95 background
It's
place.
I asked because I was born in Stone Mountain, Georgia. So
Oh yes, I've been to Stone Mountain.
I hail from those parts, as they say. And my migration was primarily northward.
Oh, so you two sort of switched places. That's kind of neat.
We did.
Yeah, well done. Well done on that.
Bravo.
But Chris, you buried the lead.
Matt, we didn't tell you about that. It was it's a secret. We agreed not to tell you.
Yeah, tell me about it. He moved out of Pennsylvania and he won't tell me where he is. So it's all a secret as far as where people are these days. But you buried the lead. You said that your wife got a job. You got to talk about what you do, man, because what you do is really cool. Because you work in the same place as your wife now, right?
Yes, yeah. We both work for NASA.
Yeah.
And you cannot. I mean, like I said, Windows 95 background is because blurry. It's very green, very blue. But this was the Artemis rocket prior to launch, the big moon rocket that went about a month or so ago. I don't work that program, but it was impressive visually, except when the Android screen.
Yeah. It's impressive visually if you see it in real life. Yes.
Sure.
Very cool.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what do you? So you said you don't work on that program. Can you tell us what you work on, or is that you'd have to kill us?
I can't. No, I wouldn't have to. No.
You can still choose to. You can still choose to.
That's true.
It's always an option, of course.
Yeah.
No, we both support the Commercial Crew Program, which is currently there's two suppliers, Boeing and SpaceX, who are providing commercial services to get our astronauts up into the space station, do their work, and then bring them back safely. So a lot of our work is working with the partners, kind of reviewing their paperwork and kind of doing certifications and verifications, looking at any issues they've run into and kind of checking the box for NASA and making sure that, that is what we bought. It's like if you were buying a car and you had the drawings to the car and, you got to crawl through everything and make sure that what you're buying is what the bill of sale said it was, and making sure the government's getting a good deal and making sure the astronauts get where they need to go.
Wow.
Very cool.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man.
It's definitely cooler than what I do.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
So
for sure. I work on very few things that go into space. So
yeah, very few.
Well, you never know.
I suppose that's true. Maybe.
I have yet to craft an Excel spreadsheet that is as impressive as space travel. So
it's most Excel spreadsheets.
That's very good. No, that's
little peek behind the curtain there. Spreadsheets and PowerPoint. You too can go to space.
Wonderful.
There you go. So you're halfway there, Jethro.
All right then.
Yeah. And you're amazingly close to space. Actually, I mean the distance between you and space isn't really that far.
No, it's probably closer than you and Matt, wherever you may or may not be.
That's possible.
There you go.
Actually, that's very likely.
It's only I think 62 miles to the line, straight up.
Wow. That's closer. Yeah, that's closer than many things. I couldn't even get to the state line in 62 miles.
Space station's about 200 miles straight up. So you could. You just have to go 25,000 miles per hour.
All right, then.
2005. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. That's.
I'll fire up the old Subaru Forester and see where I can get.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
So, wow. Well, that's great. Yeah, that is a very exciting thing that you're working on there. And I got to say, when we were growing up, so I met Chris. I met you in middle school, right?
I'm pretty sure it's middle school. Yeah, middle school, Brad and Lane. Yeah. I knew Lane of movie fame.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Perkins 14.
Right. Of Perkins 14's screenwriter, Lane Shepard.
Right, and Brad of the very amusing preamble to your walk of a few weeks ago.
Yes, he had quite the stories to tell.
Correct. I have none. He's used them all.
That was it. That was the story. The one good story for out of high school.
Yeah. The ammo's gone. Yeah, Brad and Lane. I met them in preschool. Brad lived on my street. And then Matt, I'm not sure how we I knew it was middle school. I think it was because you and I were kind of in the same track. Brad
I think Brendan Crimmins.
I think
we
it was,
had a common friend in Brendan.
Well, Brendan was friends with Brad. I didn't really know him. I just kind of wandered in.
Oh, I thought you and I like hung out with him at lunchtime and things like that.
Yeah, but
as I recall,
Brad. It was kind of
Brad wasn't with us at lunch.
No, but I didn't know Brendan.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how.
Well, never
mind. That's
what
I'm saying. I
don't know. All right, Jethro, this is really interesting stuff, I know, and I'm sure the listener is like, well, wait, but are you sure? Because I remember you guys. But we hung out. We need a band. I mean, we were in band and
a lot of band.
Talent shows and things like that. But then high school was marching band. I mean, that's where we spent a lot of time together. Obviously.
Yeah, and everyone knows my parents because they all like my parents as chaperones, so I could not escape my parents because all of my friends really like my parents.
That's right. Chris's parents were always the chaperone on our bus. I believe I called your dad the captain, and I called your mom the doctor.
Correct.
Because she was a doctor, and he wasn't a captain, but it still felt right.
I could see him on a boat with a hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Captain and the Doctor was one of my favorite 70s power singing duos. So
they were great when they were together.
Fantastic.
It was true.
In the 70s, yeah.
And love kept them together. So, well, Chris,
nice deep reach on the Captain and Tennille. I'm sure a huge swath of our young audience is going to dig that reference.
Our super young audience. Let's get into it here, man. Do you have a place that we are going to be heading here, and is it something from Wales?
No, not Wales. Neither the country nor the animal.
Okay.
So a little background. In the 1950s and 60s, there was a lot of development on the beach side around here. There was a neighborhood, I believe it was called the Neptune Beach Subdivision. There was some houses. I've actually met some people that used to live there. There was a corner store, gas station. It was across the river, so kind of on the beach side. It's a haul from where we live in the Titusville area. So around 1962 or 3, I believe, a government organization, the Army, I believe it was brokered by the Army Corps of Engineers, spent $31,000 at the time to buy the neighborhood. They bought the grocery store, the gas station, all the houses, and proceeded to bulldoze it all. And that's where they built the Kennedy Space Center. They bulldozed every building except one. It is unknown why they did. I can't figure it out. And anytime you look, there's a lost to the annals of time or whatever. But this building was left in place. It's just a 2-story kind of a bungalow, wood and cinder block construction common at the time. And that is where all of the astronauts hung out prior to launches. So they used it as like recovery. Where they could have barbecues and hang out. And then like during the shuttle program, that was actually one of the last places that a lot of astronauts had spent time with their family prior to their launch. They would have a picnic or hang out on the beach, and there's a tradition of like signing the crew would sign a bottle and leave it there as a place. So that's the place I'm going to give to you because I think it's kind of a cool piece of history and something maybe you don't know about it. And the Wikipedia, it's currently called the Kennedy Space Center Conference Center, but you won't find it under there. It's called the Astronaut Beach House.
The Astronaut Beach House.
Astronaut Beach House.
Wow, that's cool. I've never heard of that. And
that sounds like an Annette Funicello, Frankie Avalon movie from the 60s. Astronaut Beach House.
Right, in space.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
IG number Genie crossover. Again, I'm helping you hit all your younger demographic.
Yes, they love I Dream of Genie. But what? How come they haven't rebooted that yet? What are we waiting on? Come on, let's go.
It's interesting because I can't remember the film, but I'm sure that I've seen a movie about astronauts where just prior to the launch, there's a social gathering with the family, which is like, hey, here's your last chance to hang with your family before your husbands go off into space. So that would be at this place, presumably.
Possibly, yeah.
I think
they would enter. I believe they would traditionally enter quarantine, and then before you get on the bus the final time, there's a wave, but not the closeness. I believe.
Okay.
I think there's.
I didn't work crew ops, so I don't. That's just my understanding of.
There's something like that in Apollo 13. I think that there is a before they leave type of they're all being social with the wives and the things like that. But that may not be the one you're thinking of. But I think there's a scene like that. Now, whether that was supposed to be set there or in one of their houses or something like that, I don't know. May have been at Ed Harris's house or something. I don't know. Who knows? But
so it is part of the Kennedy Space Center, and it is a small Wikipedia page. I don't know how many things link to it. So good luck.
Okay. Well, as long as something links there, we'll be okay. If nothing links there, we're going to be in real trouble.
I wouldn't say it's nothing. It's also, I will help you a little bit by saying its location is between Slick 40 and Slick 41. That's Space Launch Complex. But it is part of Slick LC-39, which is LC-39 is the big Kennedy Space Center launch. That's where the A and B are where the shuttles launched and where SpaceX currently launches. They have one facility, and then the Artemis was from 39B, I believe.
Gotcha. Okay, so you think that will help us on Wikipedia somehow?
I believe that it could.
If we were walking there, it would definitely help us.
Oh, absolutely. Good luck walking. It's
physically
out there.
walking
it's
there.
Ways. It's a ways.
But we'll see how that goes on Wikipedia. Well, this is cool. I like this. And I think it's going to be a real challenge to get there from Marie Lwyd, some Welsh wassailing tradition. But
if I knew a famous Welsh astronaut, I would give it to you. But I don't.
That's okay. That would.
The Welsh space program famously is quite bad.
That would spoil our discovery.
Yeah,
journey of discovery.
I don't want to ruin it for you.
The Welsh space program is just a guy with a 20-foot ladder. That's as far as I've gotten.
How high can we get? Well, this is great, but before we let you go and take off on this walk, I got to ask you: are you having a drink tonight, Chris? Because we often do that.
I wasn't, but then it sounds like you might, and I believe that makes it social and not alone. So
here you go. It does.
So I shall.
Okay, and what is it that you're drinking this evening?
I will be imbibing with my friend Jose of the Cuervos. Jose, with that's it. Just Jose Cuervo in a glass.
Gotcha.
Yes. Excellent.
Gotcha. And Jethro, how about yourself?
Well, I have no reservations except for Woodford Reserve, the bourbon that I commonly drink.
Oh my goodness.
That's good.
What wordplay do you have that you can combine with the beverage that you're having, Matt?
This topic that he's given us is all about space exploration, which is something I've really liked in my younger days, and I feel now might have a bit of a resurgence. Oh,
that was a long walk.
That's the name.
Super long walk.
That's what we're known for.
It's resurgent straight bourbon. It's a Pennsylvania bourbon. This is why I'm drinking it, because Chris and I met each other here in Pennsylvania, grew up in Pennsylvania. So I decided a Pennsylvania bourbon was the way to go. And it is also one that I got for my birthday from my lovely wife, and I had never had it before. And you know what, Jethro? You're going to be surprised to hear this. I enjoy it. It's quite good.
Oh, it's rare to find a bourbon that you enjoy. So
no, it's only 100 proof though. It's not one of my super high.
I like you say only 100.
Yeah,
it's still pretty high.
It is very high. It's a 50% or so. It's gonna do the job, and you'll be doing the job at the end of the walk without me because I'll be sleeping. So
very good.
That'll be
very
fun
good
too.
Indeed.
Well, Chris, once again, thank you very much.
Like Matt falling asleep on his own podcast.
There's nothing better than that, at least for the listener.
He was out for the entirety of season 5. It was just me and him snoring. That was all.
Everybody, the highest ratings we've had, honestly.
There you go.
We super appreciate this. It sounds like an awesome topic. I can't wait to try to get there. And thank you again for joining us this evening. And I hope to see you again soon, man. Happy New Year to you.
Of course. Happy New Year to you all as well. Have a lovely walk. Don't stumble anywhere you shouldn't.
Oh,
cheers.
We shall try. Take care, man.
All right. Bye.
All right, then. Matt, in a way, this is a bit of a return for us because we came to Marie Lwyd from Rocket.
Oh, can you imagine if we had gotten, if only we had gotten this suggestion last week. Would have been way easier.
So yeah, this is definitely
You're right. Yeah, we went through the Apollo program and Christmas Eve and all that jazz. And
so I'm going to throw out there something. So we could theoretically.
Wait. Before you do, though, we should make our predictions.
Oh, yeah, yes, that is
as to
fair.
How many links it's going to take before you tell me your path, and then I can write down exactly what you're going to tell me.
No, I was actually gonna forbid a path.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. Oh, do you want to do that before we do our predictions then? Because you would know that what you're going to forbid, and I wouldn't, so that wouldn't really.
No, I'd like that advantage.
What are you forbidding?
Since we got here through the Christmas Eve Apollo space program thing, I think we should forbid that as a path back to. We can't go through Christmas Eve and that.
I agree. I think that would be just backing our way out, and I don't think that that's fair. So
I think our listeners would riot, and justifiably so.
Absolutely, they both would be really angry.
Yeah, they really would.
All right, but I still have to write down a number here, so I'll do it. I've done it. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, well, let's go then, man. Now, the other problem is this feels like a one that would be very easy to go through geography.
Oh yeah,
and I know that's always verboten. So
we've long forbidden that as a path, which does beg the question of how one gets there.
It does beg the question, and I think, and I don't get me wrong, I don't know what's on this page yet, but I wonder. Kennedy Space Center is notoriously found in Florida, as
is true.
Just discussed.
This is true.
And not terribly far from that in Florida is found the most magical place on Earth, Universal Studios.
So I love Universal. They call it that. They call it that because the Harry Potter thing's inside it, and that's wonderful.
Right. Yeah,
that's what makes it so magical.
So what I'm thinking is if we can get through something along those lines. Now I know that might take us into a slightly geographical bent from there to the other place. A
little geography is fine. It's just being entirely dependent on that is lazy and no fun for anybody.
Now I'm perusing through the page here, and I have to say there are some really inappropriate things on this page to the point that I think that they're vulgar.
Really? Like what?
Well, Jethro, there's something called the Feast of the Ass, and I don't even know what that is, but it sounds like something on Pornhub that I would not be interested in checking out.
I think I watched that video, and
you did? Why did you watch
that? Those two folks seemed like they were having a great time. Well, so I mean, who am I to yuck anyone else's
Christmas,
yum?
But still, I just feel like.
Ugh, maybe it's a new year. We try new things. Who knows? Somebody,
not for me. For me. It's just not for me. I'm not saying it's wrong for anybody else. It's just not for me. That's it.
All right. Well,
that's all I'm saying.
Well, next time we have the wives on the episode, we'll bring it up and see if see how quickly we can get ourselves a divorce going on.
See if you remember that. That sounds like a great idea.
Oh yeah.
All right. So unfortunately, I've yet to see anything that gets me that makes me feel like it's a good path towards space travel or Florida or anything along those lines, because everything here is very Welsh.
I see something that I like.
Oh, you do you?
I do. So under early developments, in the top portion of the article, there's a part that says etymology, and it talks about the Virgin Mary, Mother of Jesus, a key religious figure in the Catholic Church. And Catholic Church's link, and I don't know if you know this about the Kennedy Space Center, but it's named after John F. Kennedy, the first Catholic president of the United States.
Yeah.
Do you know the second Catholic president of the United States?
I think it might be our current president, Joe Biden.
That's right, Joseph Robinette Biden, the second Catholic president.
So this is interesting. I find this interesting.
Catholic Church gets us to Kennedy, Space Center, gets us to presumably, hope to God, a link to the astronaut beach house.
You see a link to actually Catholicism here, or you just see
the Catholic Church?
Oh, you do see the Catholic Church. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes. I saw Mary, and I thought that's what you were talking about. But you see the actual Catholic Church linked in.
I do, and I would think that Catholic Church would be a better way to go, because Virgin Mary, I don't think would interest Kennedy that much, if you know what I mean.
Oh, take that. Yeah, no, I'm not bad with that. I mean, I kind of want to go through Punch and Judy just to find out if we can make that work. Oh, also ale is on here. Don't we have an obligation to go through ale?
I feel like if we go to Catholic Church, we're going to have a lot of liquor there.
Oh,
They're a booze friendly religion,
well, that's
which
fair.
is
That's
what.
fair.
And in fact, growing up in Texas, so I was Methodist before I figured out their schemes and went to atheism.
Yeah.
But I grew up in the Protestant church, and most of my friends were Protestant, and I did not go to a wedding that had booze at it until college. And when Christy and I started dating, we went down to a couple of weddings in Texas, many of which were dry, and she was like flummoxed. She could not understand because her family was all Catholic, and she could not understand the idea of a dry wedding. Like it just didn't make sense to her. It's like watching a horse drive a taxi cab. Like it just did not compute that anyone would voluntarily have an event like this without booze at it.
I did go to one of those one time. It was not a good. It was also like the middle of the day wedding. It was like a wedding that went from like 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah. And and it doesn't even need to go that long, because if there's no booze, people aren't hanging out. They're like,
oh no,
okay,
we didn't stay that long. But yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I am. I like your idea. Although I will point out there is a reference to flight in here, which might not be a bad thing.
Where's this reference to flight?
Under Origins, flight into Egypt is here. So
okay. Right by Feast of the Ass.
Yes.
So that's flight into Egypt. That flight in the sense of flying, not in the sense of zooming in an aircraft. So that's definitely a Christmas related thing.
All right. Well, then I like Catholic Church. Let's do it. Maybe there's a link to Kennedy right on that page.
There could very well be. Here we are.
Let's try it out.
The Catholic Church. It's a big page.
Catholic Church. Yeah. We had a reference to the Catholic Church, I think, in one of our earlier episodes when that story was being told about me and the Catholic girl that I was dating. So
that's right.
We're right back. Maybe she's on this page. It's possible. We don't know.
It's entirely possible. I wonder. Yeah, there could very well be, because I know at Kennedy's election there was concern that he would be unduly controlled by the Catholic Church. So there could very well be reference.
Vatican, right? Yeah.
And the Vatican, yeah.
There are, I will say, this page is very long, but also the number of links per word here is very high. Like there are a lot of links on this page.
Yeah. I don't know if you know this.
Yeah.
That the Catholic Church kind of has its fingers in a lot of pies.
Well, it's true, but they're
kind of involved in a lot of stuff.
Like you could link every word in Wikipedia, right? Probably, right? There's very few words that couldn't be a link, but most of the time they're not. Here, almost all of them are.
There are many.
It is a lot.
I will say that if you scroll down to the doctrine section, there is an image on the left-hand side that, to my mind, looks like the flux capacitor, but it is in fact not. It's the Shield of the Trinity theological diagram.
Which makes you wonder, is that where they got their inspiration from? Where did you see this?
This is under the doctrine section. There is a left-handed graphic there.
Oh,
it looks like the
sorry, I got caught capacitor. On the keys to the kingdom graphic over here. Doctrine. Oh, there it is. Oh my gosh, that does look very much like flux capacitor.
Right,
it does. Wow.
There we go.
Well, folks, if you haven't seen it, head on over to the Catholic Church Wikipedia page, go about a third of the way down, and you'll see it right there on the left under Nature of God. But I have yet to see anything about John F. Kennedy or space travel.
That is true. Well, the Catholic Church doesn't need space travel because spiritually they got a man up there already. So
they got somebody up there already sending back all the info. Okay. I mean, it is possible though that there would be something like the Pope blessed some particular mission up into space, right? That's a possibility. Isn't that a thing?
It's certainly possible.
Transubstantiation, of course, is linked on here. The Last Supper, right near it. Seal of Confession. Boy, there's a lot of links on this page.
I would have hoped or thought they would have had like a list of famous Catholics.
Well, you would expect it to be a separate page, actually.
There is under C also, which still fair game. There is not a list of Catholics, but lists of Catholics.
Oh, good Lord.
So it's not even that we would get its own list. We have a meta list that says here are all the lists of various Catholics. So that's at a minimum like a two hop to get there.
Yeah, I don't love that. I'm not a huge fan of lists and listing again.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
But who knows? I mean, I do see Mother Teresa on here. Saint Teresa, excuse me, is on here. So there are at least Nobel Peace Prize. Did Kennedy ever win the Nobel Peace Prize?
No, he did not, because they do not give Nobels posthumously. Not that Kennedy did anything to warrant the Nobel Peace Prize, but he also famously got assassinated. So that takes him out of Nobel commission, as it were.
I see. Well, but he could have gotten it before that, right?
He could have, but other than the Cuban Missile Crisis and de-escalating the tension around that, I don't see what he would have done to have warranted that honor. Although Obama didn't do a damn thing. I don't know. So. Yeah, Obama didn't do it. The only thing Obama did to get it was to not be George W. Bush, and that seemed to be sufficient.
That was enough.
That was enough.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Let's see. I see universities and colleges. Those are Catholic universities. Western philosophy, culture, art, music. These things are all linked. Science, not linked, unfortunately.
Well, the Catholic Church, not famously known for its.
Yeah,
science.
You would think there would be something on here about like how they, didn't like. Was it Copernicus, Galileo?
Yeah.
Like the whole trying to put the Earth not at the center of the universe type of thing. Like, there's nothing about that on here. That seems weird. Heliocentric model. Nothing. I don't see anything about that. Early Middle Ages is on here. I mean, I guess you could probably get into something along those lines through there, but. Then you got a long journey from astronomy into traveling into space, right? Which is the problem that we had previously. I feel like we had a whole thing about that before.
So there is a link under C also for anti-Catholicism, which might be interesting because it does mention the United States in there, and I feel like in the little preview that pops up. So that would almost certainly mention the anti-Catholic backlash against John F. Kennedy when he was running for president.
Yeah, that's certainly possible. I will say also there's a link, and I understand that I'm going to name a geographic place, but Soviet Union is on here. And
is
I
it now?
Wonder if
space race?
Yeah, space race type of thing, right? Is that a possibility?
It's certainly a possibility. We can certainly get there through that.
Or how about Western culture? That might get you into the space race type of thing as well.
Yeah, Western culture is just so vague that it feels.
I don't disagree with you, but it's I'm looking for stuff that's going to get us toward space travel, because I don't like. There's no other path, right? Like it's got to be space travel that we're headed towards.
Oh, I mean, unless there's a Wikipedia page for famous beach houses.
I don't think there's a Wikipedia page for anything.
All right, I've had a little Woodford Reserve. Give me a break here.
You sound like Aaron Kleiber, the Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Hey, man, come on. You ever have those Yankee Candle? I don't know why I'm doing Aaron Kleiber as a Southerner. He's totally.
I don't know either. It's weird, but I like it. I want you to keep doing it.
Since I moved away from Pittsburgh, I've lost my Munhall accent replicator. I need to spend some time with Aaron to get it back.
Yeah. First World War is on here. That gets you into rockets. Get us right back into rocket again.
Yeah. I hear what
Academy
you're
of Sciences.
I love Papal Academy. It's one of my favorite comedy movies.
Nazi Germany. I know that's one of your favorite places to go to.
I mean, that's most of the brain trusts for the United States rocket program came from Nazi Germany. So
well, that is absolutely true. And again, that's going to get you into space travel. Oh, wait, actually, V2 rockets is on here.
Aha!
And I believe the V2 rocket was one of that's what Werner von Braun worked on, and then worked on the space program for the U.S. So V2 rocket might not be a bad choice out of here.
Okay, I like it. I see it.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
I'm just feeling. I feel like we've been on this page for a little while, so we're gonna have to make a choice soon.
We have indeed. All right. So pitch.
I don't hate Soviet Union or even Mikhail Gorbachev is linked on here too. Either of those kind of feel okay too. So,
is Gorbachev? Where's Gorbachev listed?
I got him linked down here under John Paul II. It says in 1978, Pope John Paul II, formerly Archbishop of Krakow in the Polish People's Republic, became the first non-Italian pope in 455 years. His 26-and-a-half-year pontificate was one of the longest in history. Mikhail Gorbachev, the president of the Soviet Union, credited the Polish pope with hastening to the fall of communism in Europe.
Rather than Soviet Union, I'd much rather go through Gorbachev.
And I did find Galileo, by the way, as well. He is also in that same.
Yeah. Galileo famously, though, is a few centuries away from space travel. So
didn't travel into space as far as we know.
Not even. In fact, that's one of the Welsh space program's claim to fame is that they got further than Galileo because Galileo's ladder was only 12 feet high.
I mean, along with the rockets aren't bad either. And there's another reference of flight on this page also.
I know, but you've piqued my interest with going through Gorbachev.
Don't you want to know what the reference to flight is on this page?
What's the reference to flight on this page?
A cardinal. There's a link to a cardinal.
Oh, Matthew,
yeah,
you've made a classic ecclesiastical error of assuming that the rank of cardinal in the Catholic Church has something to do with the bird, the cardinal, which does not.
What?
They're totally different things.
Oh, my goodness gracious me.
Indeed.
I recently saw a TikTok about the fact that a lot of Christmas cards show a lot of gay cardinal families.
Mm-hmm.
Because there'll often be a nest with two red cardinals sitting next to each other. And as we all know, the female cardinal is brown in color. The male is red in color. And so all of the cards that you see with the cardinals on it, those are gay cardinals, which we think is great. That's good.
It's woke culture working its way into our lives.
It's representation, Jethro.
You're never going to get me off this soapbox.
Right. So what do you like? You like Mikhail Gorbachev better than the V2 rocket?
Yeah, just because we came here through rockets, I want to try to do a bit more of a circuitous route that doesn't take us quite the same way.
Okay, so you put a large number down. Okay, I get it. Then let's do it. Let's go.
Maybe I did. Maybe I did.
I know that you did, or else you wouldn't have tried. You wouldn't be going this path. But I'm gonna go with you because it's the new year and it's a new me. I'm gonna turn over a new leaf. So let's go, Mikhail Gorbachev.
Look at you. Here we go. All right. Gorbachev was a big fan of John F. Kennedy. No, just kidding. Did not happen. He did get the Nobel Peace Prize though.
Mikhail Gorbachev
in 1990. Yeah,
good for him. For those that are unfamiliar with Mikhail Gorbachev, he was the president of the Soviet Union, but he was also he was the president of he was. See now I'm going to correct myself or not. Was he there when the Soviet Union fell? He was. He was
kind of overseeing the
final leader. He was the final leader of the Soviet Union.
Of the Soviet Union, and then passed it off to Boris Yeltsin after it.
No. He was preceded by Konstantin Chernenko,
yeah.
Chernenko. Oh no, he's preceded by him. Excuse me. He was succeeded by Vladimir Ivashko.
Proceed.
Yeah.
Huh, I don't remember Ivasco. I don't remember Ivasco at all.
That's what it says here.
Huh.
I'm sorry. That was as the General Secretary of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union. As the president of the Soviet Union, he was not succeeded by anybody because the office was abolished. So yeah, so you're right. You're absolutely right. It's just the way this thing is written, it doesn't have who followed him as the leader of Russia.
All right then.
So my apologies to you, sir.
That's okay. I
have crossed a line, and I wish to step back.
So there is a link here to the Strategic Defense Initiative, or SDI, also known as the Star Wars program, which gets us into United States Space Agency type stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing closer than that. I was kind of hoping that NASA was on this page. Or
It might be. I haven't seen
okay.
it. I'm calling out what I see. I'm calling out.
Okay. I'm with you. Yeah, a lot of references to different communist parties on here, which is not particularly surprising.
So many communist parties.
Pierre Trudeau is on here. Vladimir Lenin, which again, not surprising. Red Square. First Lady. Oh, so it's like Eve. That's interesting. I wonder why they would take
very much like Eve.
This page.
So much like
bootleg liquor or moonshine is linked on this page. Again, I think we're obligated to go through.
There is a link to the Mikhail Gorbachev Pizza Hut commercial, which
wow.
I completely forgot about, but yes, Mikhail Gorbachev was in a Pizza Hut commercial
It's actually him in the commercial?
1998, yes.
Wow. I did forget about that for sure.
That is incredible. Well done. Bravo to you, Pizza Hut.
I have to say, the unfortunately, the thing the thing that pops up first in my head when I think of Mikhail Gorbachev is that scene from, I think it's
Naked Gun?
Naked Gun movie. Yes.
Yeah,
right.
It's where he cleans off the birthmark on his forehead.
Remove the birthmark. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But hey, all in good fun, right? I'm sure nobody minded.
Ooh,
what do you got?
Ooh,
what do you got?
Under personal life, among his favorite authors were Arthur Miller.
That's great.
Do I need to connect the dots for you, Matt?
I'm an idiot. You have to, yes.
Arthur Miller was married to
Marilyn Monroe.
And Marilyn Monroe slept with
John F. Kennedy, we think. I mean, but seriously, that's where you want to go back through Kennedy?
First of all, we haven't gone through Kennedy.
No, I know, but I feel like
we're not going back through.
Well, but I feel like
hey, listen, I'm saying it's a possibility. I'm not saying as always, Matt, I am completely open to a better idea if you have one. But if all you have is your negative appraisal of my option, then that doesn't help us move forward, does it now?
Well, right now that's all I have.
I feel like that's a little life lesson for everybody. Maybe your negative opinion about stuff somebody else is doing is not really valid if you don't have a better alternative that you can offer. So go and live in peace with that knowledge.
That's a good life lesson, Jethro. Thank you.
There we go.
I mean, you're welcome for letting you teach that to everybody.
I greatly appreciate the opportunity.
No problem. That's what I was saying. I can't believe I just got to the television advertisement for Pizza Hut. So
it's incredible stuff.
Well, it just means that you're like way ahead of me, and the things that I'm looking for probably aren't on the page because although you do miss things from time to time, I suppose. Apple Computer.
I mean, we could go to Reagan pretty easily, and Reagan might get us to the Challenger disaster. Although that's a bit of a
it's a downer.
Like, quite frankly, I'd rather go through Arthur Miller and Marilyn Monroe.
It's just Arthur Miller to Marilyn Monroe is a much longer walk, is all I'm saying. Like, I'm just trying to get there as quickly as we can, as is our duty.
All right, then what do you got? I got Star Wars.
I'm working on it. Give me a second. I'm still working through my way through the page. Are you all the way done?
I've scanned everything, and Arthur Miller is our best option.
You've scanned everything. All right. That's I don't believe you, so I'm going to keep looking. I do see Arthur Miller now. A lot of people
don't believe me, but they're wrong.
Okay, well, it's good that you at least are strong in your convictions. That's what I think is important.
So true.
There's a lot of diseases linked on this page. I don't think that's going to help us in any way. I keep wondering though, is there a way to get to? Is there a cosmonaut linked on this page that could get us to an astronaut?
I feel like our tactical error leaving Catholic Church was that we did not go to whoever was Pope at the time of Kennedy's inauguration, because
who was Pope at the time of the
inauguration? I have absolutely no idea.
Well, then you see, it wouldn't have. That's a great idea, but difficult to execute when we don't actually know.
But if I was on the page, I could scroll around maybe and find it.
You think it would have told you?
Maybe.
I'm not so sure about that.
It's a possibility.
Did Sophia Loren ever go up on the space shuttle at all or anything?
Oh gosh, no.
No? Okay.
I wish she would, though.
Checking. Yeah. Just checking. Just want to make sure that that's not something that occurred. Oh gosh, I've reached the bottom of the page.
All right, so two options are before us, both of which were put forward by me, neither by you.
Only because you skipped ahead.
Okay, well, because I got
skipping ahead.
All right, so we've got the Strategic Defense Initiative, SDI, also nicknamed Star Wars, which I don't think was part of NASA because it was part of the Department of Defense. And I think NASA is its own standalone thing.
Yeah, I think that's right. Well, but but it was closely connected. But I understand what you're saying.
And Arthur Miller being the other one. So which do you like?
Ronald Reagan. You're leaving off Ronald Reagan from that.
I did. I think Reagan is a distant third. I feel like Strategic Defense Initiative or Arthur Miller are better choices than Ronald Reagan, but that's just my perspective.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I really feel like Arthur Miller is a longer way around. It's like walking around the block instead of trying to cut through the dark alley that you're not sure you're going to make it through, which is what the SDI initiative is.
All right, fine. Let's go. Let's do it.
Well, hold on. I have to find it again because I've lost it already.
It's under foreign policy. So if you the big section is General Secretary of the CPSU. Mm-hmm. And if you scroll down to foreign policy, there's a delightful picture of Gorbachev with Reagan off to the right here. And it's in that paragraph under the U.S. Strategic Defense Initiative.
Honestly, I can't believe there's nothing about the Russian space program on here. It just doesn't make any sense. Because
the big PR for the space program was during the 50s when they were kicking our butts.
I'm aware of that, but all right. Where did you say it was under Secretary of Central Committee? Is that what you say it was? No.
Under GPO.
Oh, General Secretary.
General Secretary of the CPSU. Scroll down to the foreign policy section. There is Strategic Defense Initiative.
Yeah, I'm under. This is Chernobyl, foreign policy, nuclear war, arms race. Oh, there it is. SDI. All right, let's try it. Let's see what happens.
Here we go.
The worst thing that can happen, right?
The Strategic Defense Initiative was a proposed missile defense system. Blah, 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 blah.
Defense Initiative. Gosh, typing this is a lot. All right. Do you see NASA? Do you see Cape Canaveral? Do you see Cape Kennedy?
Not yet.
Well, I know that you're already at the bottom of the page, so I guess it's not going
to listen. You know what?
I do see SpaceX linked on this page.
Okay.
And I will say that if we have nothing else, I do think that SpaceX will get us to the Kennedy Space Center.
Okay.
It would surprise me if it didn't, because that's where they launched
from. I like it. I like it.
But my hope is that it's just on this page, right? Because that's where they launched it from.
Possibly.
I see George H.W. Bush. White Sands Missile Range is on here. That's where, if you watch the movie Space Camp, that's where they had to land, at White Sands.
With Leah Thomas or Thompson?
Leah Thompson is in that movie, yes. As is what's his name? The guy. I can't think of his name. The main dude. Nope, I'm not going to come up with it. But anyway, he was somebody too. And then the Jinx is the name of the little robot.
Very nice.
Running around on there. And they have to land.
Tom Skerritt. Tom Skerritt.
Tom Skerritt's not who I'm thinking of, but Tom Skerritt is in the movie. Yes, you're right.
Okay, yeah. I do see a link here to the. By the way, if you haven't seen Space Camp, it is a pure cheesy slice of wholesome 1980s goodness.
Yes.
Where completely. So the idea is that there are these kids who go to space camp, and as part of the fun of space camp, they get to sit on the actual space shuttle while they test some engines. Yep. Right.
Yep.
What an incredible thing for those kids! But there's a thermal curtain failure, and so the only way
done. Yes, that's exactly what there is.
The only way to save their lives is to actually launch them into space.
Correct. Yes, because the little robot does this. The robot makes that happen, and he makes it so that the one starts to go, and the one solid rocket booster has to go, and they can't shut that down, so they have to set the other one on, and then they just Get up there. Get up into space.
And then they die in space, as you would expect.
No, that's not. I just said they make an emergency landing at White Sands.
It's incredible. But yeah, children going into space unsupervised and coming back safely. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of American fantasy that we believed in 1984 or whatever, whenever it was
great.
Out.
Yeah, it is somewhere around there, 84, 85. I don't remember the exact year, but
so Matt, we've talked so much. We talked so much about the space shuttle program that I feel like we should click on the space shuttle program as our next link.
So I do see the space shuttle program. I do want to say that I also see George Lucas, Lucasfilm, and Star Wars, who sued Ronald Reagan for stealing the name based on their franchise.
So bravo to Mr. Lucas and company. I think that was a great move for them to do that. I don't think that's getting us any closer to our destination.
No, I agree. Although I really do want to go through Star Wars if we could. I wish it had been the other way around, right? That we could have gotten to Star Wars and then gotten that into this Star Wars, because I feel like that would have been okay. Los Alamos is on here. White Sands is on here. Why on earth Kennedy Space Center is not on here is it's making me angry. It's perplexing me. But it's not here. At least I don't see it. You haven't seen it, right? The Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory is on here.
Mm-hmm.
The carbon dioxide laser is on here. I mean, come on. But I just don't see NORAD. So you want to go through? Did you see an actual link to Space Shuttle? Oh, I see it. Space Shuttle program.
The Space Shuttle program, under proposals, projects and proposals.
There's specific launches on here as well. We've got the Space Shuttle Discoveries on here. We've got STS. I moved away from it now, so I don't. I
feel like Space Shuttle program, because they all launched from Florida, right?
They did. They all launched from Florida.
So let's go there then.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm taking one final look through to make sure that Kennedy Space Center is not on this page, because, gosh, it sure does feel like it should be. But if it is, I can't find it. And did you know, folks, if you didn't start listening at the very beginning of our podcast, you might not know we're not allowed to use Control F. So
we cannot.
I can't do a Control F to see if Kennedy Space Center is on this page. So if I can't find it, I can't use it, and I can't find it. So Jethro, you're right.
I will say, hold on here, Matt, because
what do you got?
Under controversy and criticism,
yes,
the historians of the Missile Defense Agency attribute the term Star Wars to a Washington Post article published on March 24th, 1983, the day after the speech, which quoted Democrat Senator Ted Kennedy describing the proposal as a reckless Star Wars scheme. So Ted Kennedy is linked here, but obviously that's still a link from John Kennedy, which is still a link from Kennedy Space Center. I think that Space Shuttle program is still the way to go. Yeah,
if we thought that Kennedy Space Center was going to be on Ted Kennedy's page, I'd be willing to jump into Ted Kennedy's page, but I don't think it's going to be. I think that there's a much better chance that Kennedy Space Center is on the Space Shuttle program page, as you said. And again, I'm just making totally sure that it's not on here. I don't see it. So let's go to the Space Shuttle program. I haven't found it. Wait, hold on. Where did you?
It's under projects and proposals.
I got it. Space Shuttle program.
Space Shuttle program. Here we go. Yep. The fourth human spaceflight program carried out by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.
There it is. All right. So Hubble Space Telescope.
Kennedy Space Center, right there.
Kennedy Space Center. Where did you see that?
It is linked in the first the first paragraph there, or second paragraph actually. But Astronaut Beach House could be linked here. So
I did just think about that, and that is certainly a possibility. So we should check that real quick first. There's a lot of things on here: Yuri Gagarin, Kennedy Space Center, Hubble Space Telescope. There's the Artemis program, the Orion program, Space Lab. Boy, they're all on here, man. They're all.
What about the Beach House program? Is there anything? The beach houses.
The Astronaut Beach House program. No, there's some. Unfortunately, Challenger and Columbia are on this page, so that's not something I really love to think too much about.
It is dangerous stuff going into space.
It is very dangerous stuff. In fact, I had an argument with a friend of mine one time that it was more dangerous to go into space than it was to cross the Atlantic during the time that people were first crossing the Atlantic. And he argued that it was more dangerous to cross the Atlantic than it was to fly into space. And I argued the other way. What do you think?
Well, I guess rather than diving into taking a side of that issue, I would say, how would we measure it? Would we measure it by human life loss per mile traveled? I mean, like I
think it's the risk factor, right? What are your odds of dying?
I mean, the odds of, when you think about the number of people who've died in space programs just in the US alone, relative to the number that have gotten into outer space, I think like healthy number is the wrong term to use. There's a large number of people who've died and a relatively small number of people who've gotten into space. So I would think that from a success failure standpoint, that space travel is probably riskier up till now. Whereas traveling in a boat, like certainly a lot of people perished, but a lot of people also figured it out because the Polynesian culture spread across the oceans and eventually with,
I think he was talking very specifically about like European explorers crossing the Atlantic to, venture toward the new world, quote unquote, or whatever it might be.
I was thinking of earlier in navigation technology, like the Polynesian culture and whatnot, and Kon-Tiki and that kind of thing. Like,
oh, sure, yeah.
But yeah, I still think space travel, just because it involves far more explosives, is likely to.
But all right. So, boy, I really thought we were going to find something here because I noticed that there is a link to Astrovan, the van that is used to transfer astronauts from the crew quarters in the operation and checkout building to the launch pad on launch day. None of that is linked except for Astrovan.
Oh, that's cool. Do you think it parks at the beach house, the Astrovan? I think going through Kennedy Space Center is probably the way to go, because it's going to be at that location, and Astrovan, while cool, is not the destination that we have set forth for ourselves today.
No, I don't disagree with you. I just thought that because I saw that, I got very excited because I thought, oh, they're also going to talk about where they hang out before, when they're saying goodbye to their families and things like that. I thought that it might be like there's Kennedy Space Center Launch Complex 39A is linked on here as well.
Yeah. I expect, though, that the Astrovan probably has its own place where it lives and its own history that
I agree.
Not particularly related to the beach.
Sorry, to be clear, I'm not saying we should go to Astrovan. What I'm saying is when I saw that linked, I thought there would also be a link to the Astronaut Beach House on this page.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see it. I see the crew return vehicle. I see the Constellation program. I see the Space Launch Initiative. I see all kinds of cool things on this page.
So many cool things.
See an astronaut beach house.
It is true.
Which is a shame. So
Kennedy Space Center, it is.
Unless there's a link to it and the text doesn't say it. Does that make sense? You know how sometimes you mouse over and it takes you to different text?
Yeah, but I'm not going to mouse over every link in this with the hopes of it.
And
I feel like the listeners been very patient, and we owe them the exciting conclusion.
They have been very patient. We appreciate you all for being so patient as we look through these pages. And you know what? We also encourage you to be looking through these pages as we go. To be clear, have we made that clear?
Oh, I think we've made that abundantly clear.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. So the Johnson Space Center is not where we want to go, for sure. So you think Kennedy Space Center? You think that's the way to go?
Yeah, I love it.
Tough to argue with, right? All right, let's do it. Kennedy Space Center. Let's do it.
Here we go.
And let's see. What do we see here? Cape Canaveral Force Station. That's what it was originally.
There are about 700 facilities and buildings grouped throughout the entire 144,000 acres. Look at that.
I see.
So let's hope that all 700 of those buildings are listed here.
Yes. I sure hope that they are.
There is a section for facilities. Maybe we should go down to that.
I did. I went to the historic locations, actually. It wasn't there.
Oh, no. That's unfortunate.
It is. The Visitor Complex, Commercial Leasing, Launch Complex 48. None of this is great for me here.
That's unfortunate.
Launch Complex 39. Payload Manufacturing and Processing. Yeah, I don't see it on here.
Aha! Ha 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 ha!
What have you found? What do you got? What do you got?
So I thought, because this was like kind of a little fringy thing about this, it's not the main thrust of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe if we start at the bottom and work our way up, and under C also, there is a link to the Astronaut Beach House.
Ha ha!
And
well done.
Boy, is it a short article.
Is it?
It
Astronaut
is so
Beach House.
short.
Oh my good Lord, it is short. But we found it.
Then. We found it. It is
Astronaut Beach House.
A rather modest little house.
It is a very modest little house. Although it does look vaguely familiar to me. I'm not going to read through this whole article. Oh wait, I did.
You can't help but.
Yep.
I've read Laffy Taffy jokes that were longer than this article.
Yeah, that was rough one. But it's going to be tough getting out of here. But I guess that's what we'll have to do next week. But this week, Jethro, we have to talk about how we did as far as our predictions are concerned. So why don't you go first this time?
Sure.
Tell me what
I guessed 6.
You guessed 6.
I guessed 6. What did you
Jethro,
guess?
I guessed 5.
Why did you guess 5 when 6 was clearly the better answer?
Well, why did you guess 6? Are you kidding? Why did you? Doesn't make any sense to me. I can't win this game. I cannot win this game. I will never win this game.
How many did it take us?
God damn it. 6. It took us 6. Of course it took us 6.
Look at that.
So
I'm
angry.
the nosy. I'm
so
very
sorry. Angry.
I'm so sorry.
Why did you
say
6? Why would you think 6? Why did you not have more faith in us?
Why
did you guess 4?
Because I'm very disappointed in us.
We averaged 5.3 on the season. Why did you not guess 5? Why not something? Why 6? How did you know?
Matt, would it surprise you to know?
Yes.
That
what?
I am a time traveler and I've come from the future, and my sole purpose is to win steaks and bourbon from you.
Surprise me a bit.
Yeah, podcast.
Oh, Lord Almighty! All right, well, congratulations, because I think you have won the season here. I don't think I have a chance. Let me make sure that's right. 1
mathematically,
2, 3, 4.
If
5,
you win
6,
2 more,
7,
7 to 4.
I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's only 2 left. Yep, you have won the season. Congratulations, Jethro, with that
Huzzah!
6, with that perfect guess in the new year. You are the winner. So
Matt, I tell you what, the next 2 weeks, I'm going to make crazy guesses.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You could guess 1 million and it wouldn't matter a bit. I can't possibly beat you. I can't even tie you. You're the champion once again.
Yay.
I raise a glass to you. And you know what, Jethro, all that means is we have to find a way to make the next 2 weeks more interesting. So
I think we'll
job.
Make it interesting. Well, it's always my job, but fortunately you're here to help me do it. So we'll find a way to get from Astronaut Beach House and eventually back to the Montreal screw job.
Yes.
Which
one more stop first, though.
Exactly.
So let's see what it is.
Wonderful. Well, we look forward to seeing it and you all next week. Happy New Year.
That's right. And a Happy New Year. Hey everybody, Matt Hartman here for Drunkard's Walk. Thanks so much for listening today. A big thank you to Jesse L.E. for our theme music and Nick Carmio for our artwork. And of course, a big thank you to you again for listening, and a thank you to all of our guests so far this season. We really appreciate all of them. Make sure you tune in next week. We have a big announcement coming up that'll happen during the show, so don't miss that. If you are interested in supporting us financially, you can head on over to our Patreon, or you can give us a rating or review on iTunes if you'd like to do that, or just head to our Linktree. That's linktr.ee/drunkardswalk, and you can get all the links you need to all the things you want. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.